Hi there. So apparently you're getting ready to study for that big exam, which they call the TMC, the multiple choice exam for the respiratory board. Been there, done that. I have another video that talks about my experience with that. But hey, let's talk about one of those study sites that I use, and that is Kettering. So Kettering works for some, for others it doesn't. That's why they have so many different platforms of study resources. You have Kettering, you have Lindsay Jones, you have the RT board review. There's so many out there. So the key to doing your best is figure out what program actually works for you and gets those brain cells uh, activated so that you can start thinking, you can start memorizing that base knowledge, and you can actually apply that knowledge, because that's the key to everything, is applying. So let's look at Kettering. Because did Kettering work for me? It was a hit and miss. Why? Well, in my opinion, when it came to some of the practice tests for like the clinical sims, and then they give you your feedback, the guy basically gives you a very brief feedback. He doesn't too much go into detail to help you connect the dots of why you don't choose certain things. He'll just be like, these are the correct answers, and that's it. And I'm like, wait, I need more to make the connection, because anything that you're going to hear in respiratory school, they're going to always say make the connection. And so you need to be able to make the connection between the disease process and the symptoms and whatever else you need to do, as far as respiratory equipment, in order to make the patient feel better. You got to be able to have this base knowledge and be able to apply it. All right. Anyway, so let's look at Kettering. This is the Kettering website. Whenever you come to the home page, of course, you have home, exam practice, seminars, which you can go in there and find a list of locations that are having seminars close to you or virtually, and their list of products as far as the neonatal and peds exam, sleep study, TMC help study guides. But where I would say to start at, exam practice. Alright, so Kettering does offer a free practice exam. I would recommend taking that exam, because when you take that practice exam, it creates a module to study from, and it shows you your areas where you're weak at based on the main subjects you're going to be tested on whenever you actually take the official exam. Now, you can take the free exam, but then also know that in order to get to those modules, of course, they're like any other company, they're about making money. So you get these tokens, you pay for them, and you use a token every time you take another practice exam and different things. But first, take the free exam, and from there. Now, what I do like about Kettering is that I was able to come on here and take multiple exams over and over and over and over. And sooner or later, you take the exam so much, you kind of know what to expect when it comes to answering questions. But that just means that you're memorizing. As far as actually applying the knowledge, I did not get that from Kettering. But here you go. See if you read it. If you would like to run our free trial module or free assessment test, this is what you want to start off with. I'm telling you, it was so helpful, because at first I was just taking exams, taking practice exam after practice exam, and I felt like I wasn't getting much from it. And because with Kettering, it doesn't really break down in detail to how to apply the information, how to make those connections, I felt like I was falling short. So then when I went back and I actually did the free module, and the module would take you through these little lessons to kind of like help you regurgitate the information, like kind of like, oh, here's a brief review of what you need to know. Basically, that's what Kettering is. It's a need to know website. It's not going to teach you much, but that's just my opinion. There's other people who swear up and down that they learned so much from Kettering, but it's different minds, different ways of learning, you know. See? And so it breaks down the different modules and the areas within the modules that you need to cover or that you fell short, because they'll have all green if it was good and red if it was bad. And then for each module, then you can go back and, like, this is patient assessment A, B, C. These are all little exam practice. So the opportunities to get used to the formatting is always awesome. Alright, so I'm going to log in now, and what we're going to do is review one of the practice exam. I'm not going to go through the entire thing, but I want you to see the questioning. The questioning is very similar to the TMC, but not as difficult. And then I will also show you one for the clinical sims exam, and I will show you how at the end with the review, how it basically, you have the recording of the guy and he explains the details of the scenario about the patient, but how I saw at the end, he didn't make any connections. He basically stated what was right, what you should have chose, but he didn't explain why you should have chose it, unless I heard wrong. I don't know, but you guys can see, you can comment and let me know about it later. So let's get to the exam part. Sorry you guys, I wasn't able to log into my Kettering account. Had trouble with my password, but until their offices open on Monday morning, I'm unable to show you that. But whenever I do get the chance to actually get in there, I'll make a video and just record it all so that you guys can see it for yourself. But I can say I did the online home study program with my school, and I also did the sit-in face-to-face seminar. I enjoyed the 3-day seminar much more than I did the home study. I did like that the home study provided me like a bonus of additional exam practice, but the 3-day seminar, things did start clicking a little bit more, as far as like he didn't harp too much on the information. Wait, let me take that back. He did, but what he wanted you to understand is how to answer the questions on the exam. Sounds crazy, right? Yes, but his focus was on how to clearly answer the questions, because what a lot of us have the tendency to do is read the question, but we don't select an answer that truly answers what that question is asking us to do. We come up with our own answer based on how we choose to apply the information. As far as like, it may ask you something about whenever the vent sounds and it says low pressure, what do you do? And then, well, it'll say, what's the first thing that you do? So you have to not answer as, oh, what would I do to, solve that problem? No, they ask you what's the first thing you would do. Or like they'll have a question about intubation, and after you intubate a patient, what's the first thing you would do? And some people will, your choices be like A, listen to the breath sounds. B, check placement with the CO2 detector and whatever else. So it'll have like a list of questions, but they want to know what is that very first thing you're going to do when you put that tube in. So that's how he broke that down, and it kind of made it easier for me to look at the questions and provide an answer, because it made me slow down. It made me pay attention to what these questions are actually asking me of me, instead of just blurting out an answer, you know. If that makes any sense. I don't know. But if you use Kettering, let me know what you thought about it. You know, it's different for everyone. Everyone has a different experience. So what may or may not work for me may work for you, or may work for someone else reading these comments. But I hope to hear from you soon, and thanks for watching my video. Stay tuned.